All right. We've been tracking the height of the hitch here, and we're back to 23.5 right now after we took the rack off and everything. With the rack on, it went down to, it dropped a 1/2 inch. Well, let's see here. About 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch is what it dropped just with the rack alone. It's back to 23.5 right now. The height from the floor to the top of the receiver. Top of the inside of the receiver. Man, I'll tell you what, man, I was beat down yesterday. It's a good thing I had my crispy boots on. It saved my feet. My feet were really sore at the end of the day after doing all that work yesterday. What we've got to do is we've got to get this Jeep in and have the final torque and have them level it all out. And when they do that, I'm going to seriously consider telling them that I do want the back of this Jeep an inch higher than the front. You know, because I do carry a load most of the time. The only time I don't carry a load is when I bop around town here, but most of the time there's a T-rack on this Jeep or a trailer, one of the two. When I do extended trips, there's a T-rack or a trailer, one of the two. Did I just say that? It sounded like I was repeating myself. Point being, you know, we do whenever I'm on the freeway or highway, whatever, 2-lane highway going through this middle of Nevada, when I got oncoming traffic at night, my headlights are shining high and they're always flashing me that my bright lights are on, but they're not on. Those are my dims, but it's because I'm carrying a load and the back of the Jeep is lower than the front, and it makes it look like you got your high beams on. So that's why we want to get away from that. Yesterday when we hooked up this rack, it was I don't know if you noticed in the video, but it was extremely like aiming down. That had a lot to do with the fact that the back of the Jeep is an inch lower than the front already. So now when you put that weight on there, it is really low. Much lower than the front. So what they're going to end up doing is leveling this Jeep out, raising the back of the Jeep up an inch, realigning everything, making sure everything is aligned, front to back, laser alignment. They say they got laser alignment down there, so I believe them. But you know what I'm saying, they'll have to align the back, make sure that it's right. They'll realign the front, make sure that it's on point, and you know, the back will be higher. So, you know, putting a roof rack on here, I was considering it. I'm certainly still considering it. Highly unlikely that it'll fit in this bay, but it can fit in my single garage door bay. I'll certainly verify it before I do it. And keep in mind, we're raising the back of the Jeep another inch. So, I mean, that's what I want to do, because when you carry a load, then it kind of levels out, or very close to level. It might be still a little low in the back, but you want it to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're just, let's see here, take that off. We put our shovel in the Jeep. We got a small shovel, so we added that to our, it was underneath the Jeep there. It's got to be in the Jeep all the time. It's actually just a poop-a-scoop shovel for the dogs. So, and we did do one little time. Oh, she's digging a hole there again. We did a little tiny modification. We did cut this hole bigger. So we took an inch off of this side. I think we took 3 inches off of this side and 4 inches off of 4 inches here, 3 inches here, an inch here. Why? It gives us more room to stand in there to lift it into the receiver, hitch receiver. And not only that, it removes some weight, which is the big thing. You know, we want to try to make this thing lighter, as light as we can, and still be able to do function to carry the generator, fuel cells, and stuff like that. So that's what we did. So this thing, I looked it up, it weighs about 70 pounds. And it's the aluminum one. 2 motorcycle carrier. It has a load capacity of 600 pounds. So in any case, when we fill it up, when we put it up, we've got, we're not going to count the, we're going to count the plywood, but not the 70 pounds for the double rack, T-rack here. My bike weighs probably about let's say 270-ish. And, you know, 3 full fuel cells are about 100. So it's about 375, let's say. The generator is 50. So it's 425. The plywood, we're going to put the plywood down on the sheet. That's probably, I would say, 30 pounds of plywood. Where were we? I think we're at 500 now. Point being, it's certainly going to be underneath the load capacity for the thing there. But man, when we had it loaded yesterday, it looked really low. That's because the back of the Jeep is low. It's an inch low. I mean, maybe by the time you get to the hitch, I wouldn't doubt that it's an inch and a quarter low at the hitch. You know what I'm saying? The receiver, hitch receiver. So versus the front, all the way to the front. But we've got to put the mileage on the Jeep, so we got to use the Jeep more. You know, we're going to probably go to a Logandale trail system here in a series of days that's nice. And, you know, when it gets to be warmer, like in the mid-60s during the day, consistently for several days in a row, we're going to head out there and ride the rig. So, you know, that's about, I don't know, 120 miles round trip. 60 out there, 60 back. Coal Creek, we'll probably get Coal Creek in. That's probably not until March. It's very cold up there still in the evenings, of course. Maybe April even for Coal Creek, but certainly April we've got Caliente, and then beginning of May we have Cave Lake. Extremely cold there in May. It gets down in the 20s at night, some nights, not every night. But you know, we certainly wanted to get it. We certainly wanted to do the get this thing fixed up, get it realigned, because it's a little off right now. Good deal. She took that garbage. All right, we got to fill this hole back in. She wants to dig a hole here so bad. I mean, there's no reason. There's absolutely zero reason to dig a hole there, but she wants to do it. I'm trying to keep it so there's no drop off there, because like I said, I do have to walk through here. And I was going to put this in the garage, ultimately, I probably will put it back in the garage. That's where she's going to stay. So it's in front of the dirt bike, but I had to move the car out, move the generators out, move the my street bike out. You know what I'm saying? My BMW street bike, had to move everything out. You know, maybe the day that I decide to take a ride on that bike, maybe I'll move this inside, because right here the dogs are going to pee on it, so we don't really want that. But anyways, that's it for this video. Like I said, we did make it a little bit lighter by cutting out this plywood, and technically we actually made this T-rack a little bit stronger by putting that sheet of plywood on. So in theory, that should raise the carrying ability of this thing by 50 pounds. So I'll add up everything. I think it's around 600 pounds now. You know, when you carry 3 full fuel cells, the generator, the 2 bikes. I'm gonna add it up upstairs. Down here I lose track of it. Anyways, we're gonna go. We made some excellent I don't know what you would call it, probably Chinese food, rice, chow. Hell, you might be able to call it Mongolian beef. But there's no broccoli in it. But there is vegetable, rice, and beef. But it's not beef. It's plant-based beef. So it's kind of nice to be. You know, my refrigerator is full of plant-based chicken. Well, not full, freezer. You know, I do have it, because that's what you want to eat, that stuff over cholesterol stuff, for me anyways. Now, I'm not perfect. I do have pizza. Actually I have beef burger in my refrigerator, frozen, and it's, you know, I'm trying to get away from eating. When I feel like having a burger, it's better to make your burger than to buy a burger, because every burger joint in town has about 20% fat, 80% lean. That's a bad combination. High fat, high cholesterol. Okay, guys, I am going to shut this video down.